playing these games without fans. How difficult was it for you as a guy who usually gets really fired up by the crowd to be able to feed off of that? And was there anything that you and your defensive teammates really kind of did to maybe try and fire each other up during that game?
It was a little uncomfortable to start it off, not seeing any fans in there, and you hearing them pump up the crowd throughout the theater. And it was tough. It was tough from the beginning, and we kind of got used to it. We fed off of each other as teammates. That what kind of got us through the game, especially how humid it was in there, and having no fans played a toll.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Chris. I just want to get your thoughts on a lot of NBA players that commented on it yesterday, but Breonna Taylor, and just your overall thoughts on what went down in Kentucky. And then also on the field question, you're chasing around Lamar Jackson. How's that experience going to be?
The experience is going to be great. It's always great when you have a well-put football team coming in. It gives your team a challenge. And for us as a defense, we look at it as a huge challenge to not only stop that offense, but stop Lamar, who is a pivotal part of that offense. He's the league MVP. He showed what he can do with his legs and also showed what he can do with his arms. And he's been unbelievable to this point. So it's going to be a test for us on defense. And, we look forward to it. But overall, from the Breonna Taylor aspect, I'm praying for her family and her loved ones out there. It's tough. When you look at things like that, you expect consequences and from a different aspect of it. And that's why we harp and preaching on voting. Your vote matters or your vote counts, not only on the overall election, but on the legislative election also. You got to partake in those and start within us as individuals to make that change and make sure not only you go to vote, but you go back and bring somebody else with you because that's how these things change. And just prayers to her family.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Chris, appreciate what you just said. In terms of not having any preseason games and obviously an unusual training camp, you guys kind of had the both sides of tackling really well first week against the Houston Texans and having issues tackling last week against the Chargers. I just wonder, what did you guys see that was sort of the issue last week, and just how different is it to not have any tackling before the regular season starts?
I don't think it was too much of a difference for us. Coach Reed actually done an unbelievable job within training camp to try to make everything normal. With us as a defense, we got to keep on harping on that. We just got to get better tackling. I feel like if we correct that, we can definitely be a top 5 defense in this league. We missed a lot of tackles last week, and that's our main focus point going into this week. Make sure we tackle, wrap up, and finish plays.
Go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Chris, I'm curious just to follow up your comments about Breonna Taylor. Has this been difficult? It's a difficult time, right, for the entire country. But has it been difficult for you to be able to, and maybe your teammates, focus either on football with all of this going on around, or maybe the other way, that because football is so all-consuming and does take so much of your time, have you found that you're left maybe wanting to not be able to be more involved and do more with some of the protests and movements that are going on?
What the organization of the Chiefs have done, they have been freely and opening to whatever the players want to do. And then Clark Hunt has played a major role in that, him and the president. So I'm thankful for that. And within the team, everyone is accepting to each individual ideas. And that's the beauty of this team. Andy Reid and the staff have gave us complete freeness to voice amongst our opinions, and they've accepted that. They listen and they've tried to help us in whichever direction we would like to go. So within that, my brothers have supported whoever throughout the locker room on whatever decision and output they have, and we try to listen and see what better ways we can help the situation.
Got time for a couple more guys. Let's go Breland and then Herbie. Go ahead, Breland.
Hey, Chris, just kind of build off of that. Obviously we hear this concept of sports and the backlash that comes when you use your platform, but how important is it for you guys as a whole, especially with the support of everybody in the Chiefs organization? How important is it to you to use your platform for these types of issues?
It's pivotal. It's pivotal, especially what's transpiring right now, dealing with COVID and dealing with the issues at hand of brutality from the police, and it can shift the movement, especially with athletes who has the platform to broadcast their opinions and their feelings and their ideas. That can only help. And you do it in a positive light and do it in a positive way. You get support, and that's what this is all about: getting support, getting people to understand what's partaking, and creating a shift of movement while with their support and creating change. That's most importantly.
Let's finish it out with Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Chris, I wanted to echo Nate's comment there. Thank you for sharing your thoughts there. You're very eloquent on everything that's going on in the world. But as a follow-up to Nate's question on the football side of the house, you mentioned tackling, but I'm curious because through the first 2 weeks of the NFL, we're seeing historic scoring, historic touchdowns at a record pace. How much do you think the lack of tackling or even the lack of OTAs, a modified training camp, has affected how these offenses are able to score like this?
I can't really say because every training camp and every team is ran different. I know for us as the Chiefs, Coach Reed done an unbelievable job to make it as normal as possible. It felt normal to us. Did anything change other than the fact that we didn't have any preseason games? But everything else was pretty normal. And I don't know what other organizations are doing or how they handle training camp, but for us it was pretty normal. So nothing really changed for our end.